Hello, my name is Ben Thompson Kuhn, and today we will be looking at donation tiers and perks. We'll start off by looking at donation tiers, then we'll move to perks and see what they are and why you should use them. We'll look at different types of perks and how to create them, as well as some additional items like shipping and logistics. So, donation tiers. Donation tiers, also called donation or giving levels, are a set of suggested donation amounts. When donors go onto your campaign page, these predetermined amounts are presented to help them decide how much they should give to your campaign. They can make the donation process more simple by using donation tiers. It makes it easier for supporters to give in just a few clicks and a few seconds. Donors are also more likely to give when they understand the context and the impact of their donation. Before you set your donation tiers, you should first of all know your donors. Think about what drives them to give and what the average giving amount is for a small, medium, or a large donation. This is because you don't want to alienate your donors by setting too high donation tiers. You also want to maximize your fundraising by having a few of the higher levels that more wealthy donors can tap into. Usually, it's good to create 3 to 5 different donation tiers. This is enough to give your donors a variety of choice, but not too many to get them overwhelmed and not donate. Donation levels also need to make sense. So suggested donation amounts will also depend on the campaign and the activities that you are planning. So how to define donation tiers? It's important to communicate what every donation will accomplish. So donors want to know how their money will be used and how it will make a positive impact within your activities. So include clear, short, and compelling descriptions for each donation tier. Focus on the people that you're impacting rather than the donation amount to create a positive emotional connection between your beneficiaries and between the donors. It's also important to set smart fundraising goals. So to ensure your donation tiers are effective and appropriate for your donors, use these smart fundraising goals. Think about who benefits from the donation, what will be the impact of each donation and each donation level. Make sure that all of your KPIs are measurable, how many people will benefit from each donation. So for instance, if you have $100 donation, what will your beneficiaries get for that $100? Make sure they are attainable. So can the fundraising goal be achieved with these donations? Are you allowing a realistic time period to achieve each goal for every donation level? Make them relevant. Are the goals of each donation level relatable to the donor? And also, what is the time frame to achieve each goal for each giving level? So let's go to perks. What are perks and why should you use them? Perks are also called rewards, and they provide incentives for your donations to give to your campaign. They can be rewards that are offered to your backers in crowdfunding campaigns as presents or as immaterial gifts. You can have a variety of different options of perks and rewards. For instance, they can include exclusive access, digital content, physical items, or even a visit to your implementation site. They're a great motivational tool, and they provide additional value beyond the satisfaction of supporting the project, especially for the larger crowdfunding campaigns. Why should you use perks? Perks are a great way to tap into the emotions of our backers. They create excitement and anticipation, gratitude and recognition. They also create a sense of ownership to the activities and the project you are doing. They might provide a level of exclusivity, and also they create trust and confidence between you as well as the community of donors that you are reaching out to. Usually perks or crowdfunding campaigns that utilize perks are able to mobilize more money. So campaigns that offer perks raised over 100% more money than campaigns that did not. What kind of perks can we use? Let's go through a few examples. So the most usual used perks is non-material perks. This can include special recognitions, so shout outs on social media, individual emails or even calls to donors that have given a good amount, digital certificates, digital thank you notes that can be public or private. They can include access or discounts for events or services that you are organizing, or some kind of unique experience. And this is completely up to you. Another category of perks are material perks. So this can include custom clothing and accessories, mugs, bags, pins, t-shirts, etc. Printed materials like thank you cards and posters, and products. So if you have a project where you are producing something, you can give these as rewards to your donors. A few examples here from our previous campaigns are thank you notes, t-shirts, a hand-printed apron. It really depends what kind of campaign you are running and what kind of a project you are funding. So how do we create these perks? What makes a good perk? A good perk is something that is relevant. It should be related to the work that you are doing or the project, or somehow link to the community that you are aiming to support with your campaign. Usually they should also be cost effective, so not take too big of a chunk of your overall budget. Keep the costs down so that you can actually focus on your main activities. They should be meaningful. Don't create perks that will just end up forgotten or thrown into the junk. Try to make them as creative as possible. So what can you offer as a token of thanks that's unique to you and your project, and also will be meaningful for the donor? And make sure you can actually deliver on your perks so that you don't promise something that you can't then deliver at a later date. Keep it simple. Don't promise anything you can't deliver. Think about what would motivate your audience and create a feeling of belonging and excitement. So in here, try to think about that emotional connection between your donor and your beneficiaries. It's also a good idea to test them and ask for feedback, so you can test them, for instance, with friends and family. Fun gifts also don't need to be expensive. So here, try to be as creative as possible. And also link them to your donation tiers. So the higher amount the donation is, the nicer the perk would be. So for a low amount, maybe it's a shout out. For a higher amount, maybe it's a t-shirt that has a picture of or a logo of your project. Make them also stand out. So visuals are a good way to do this. Also look at existing campaigns that might have similar kind of perks and try to create some kind of sense of uniqueness for your gift, so that they are not an exact copy of something that is already being done. How do you maximize the impact of your perks? So highlight the roles of your perks, include them in the communication material that you are putting on your website, on your campaign site, and on your social media. Encourage sharing and referrals. So if somebody gets a perk, also ask them to share social media content. If you give them a shout out, make it in such a way that it's easy for them to reshare it on their own social media pages. Last but not least, shipping and logistics is very important to think about that when you are creating your perks. So take into account international shipping costs and logistics. This may vary if you decide to organize a national crowdfunding campaign or if you are reaching out to an international audience. Think about backer location data. So when you collect your donations, if you aim to send some kind of a gift to your backers, you will also need to collect this information for you to be able to ship that good to them. Think about customs and regulations. So this may vary on a country-by-country basis, but it's good to take into account. Also, you might need some kind of insurance for your shipping, as well as take into account additional packaging costs. Okay, that's all from my side, and thank you very much and enjoy the Crowdfunding Academy.